stone for hell. It is a price I shall gladly pay. There are many paths to redemption, not all of them peaceful.
I feel very excited. In fact, I have been coming Midnight Madness for my last movie, Brotherhood of the Wolf, and I remember the excitement of the theater, and I am just imagining what I was so happy, and I want to repeat this happiness. I think I'm a big fan of Robert E. Howard. I'm a big fan of his stories, and I love the story of redemption of his hero. And I love Conan, and I'm a Pulp magazine fan. And I thought that the world needs a new kind of hero, and we find that Solomon Kane was something that everybody can relate to, and in the same time enjoy for his journey.
Well, we've had a very long evening at the restaurant. Several bottles of wine later, and a little Macallan scotch, just to soften us up a little bit, Been nervous all day, and feeling wonderful actually. I think we're really confident that people are going to be happy with the film. Kane's a very honed male through confidence. And I think what appealed to me is the fact originally that exactly that. He's a honed male. To be perfectly honest, the biggest challenge of all was getting the story and the script right. That was the biggest. Once you've actually got that, that's the bedrock that you build on, and then the rest of it fell into place. Not easily by any means.
Fantastic, Hey, hello Midnight Madness bloggers, how you doing? Michael, nice to meet
Great.
you.
How are you doing?
Hi. I shake your hand, but you're holding a camera. It's been a wonderful experience coming to Toronto, so I'm feeling really jazzed, I'm really positive. I just drove around the block and the crowd was all around the block, so you can't have some people actually turned up, which is the first thing you can hope for. I'm looking forward to presenting the movie. It's been such a long road to get here. Apart from the fact the character was created, virtually 100 years ago, and it's been in development with the producer for 10 years since they bought the character. My ride has been at least 2.5 years, from first talking about the script, writing the script, trying to raise the money, casting the guy, making the movie, editing the movie, to get to this is the point. This is the whole point of the process. Put it in front of a crowd, not the critics and not the buyers, but the crowd, And I hope they're going to get out of it what I think I put into it.
What was it about Solomon Kane that attracted you to the script?
Kane is one of the most interesting of Robert Howard's fantasy creations. In my opinion, the most interesting, because he's the most complex and the most challenging to understand. So the challenge was to make him into a character that a wider audience will enjoy and appreciate. And obviously I drifted off Robert Howard's work a little bit to get us to a point where I could say I'm making an origin of this character. I think he's like a protean superhero. He's dark and complex, he's like Batman, he has his demons. And we want to understand the reasons why he does this thing. He's a Puritan swordsman. He goes out of his way to find evil and to kill them. He's like Judge Dredd, with a sword. So that's got to be an interesting character to bring to the screen. And then you've got demons and monsters and sorcerers. So it's like Lord of the Rings evil cousins they keep in the attic chained up, and they don't let him out when there are visitors there. So that's why Kane is so interesting to me. He's an iconic character. And no Van Helsing nicked the look. It's Kane's look, and that's what we stuck to.
I grew up on Clint Eastwood, and with that he was a big part of my youth, and I smelt it on the page, and not that I wanted to copy it, but I understood the essence of what he was always trying to achieve with The Man with No Name, and this is what Solomon's a bit like. He's very enigmatic, taciturn, reticent, difficult, grim character who you want to find out more about every time he's on the screen, but he refuses ever to give up any information about himself, so that's what makes him interesting as well.
history of Midnight Madness. And Midnight Madness has been going on for 22 years. And if you're kind of just looking over what we've done, I don't think we've ever really kind of shown a fun adventure film like you're going to see tonight. And more importantly, this is a really special film because everyone knows Conan, right? Now, how many people know Solomon Kane? Solomon Kane is the creation of Robert E. Howard, who is the pulp novelist in the 1920s and 30s who wrote for Weird Tales, and he was based out of Texas. He created Conan, but one of his other notable characters was Solomon Kane. If you haven't read any Robert E. Howard, run out and do so, because these tales are so rich with detail and magic and lore. And Robert E. Howard, who died at a very young age, never left Texas. And if you look at the world of fantasy, of course you've got Tolkien, but the next name responsible for creating these worlds is Robert E. Howard. And he's a man who really deserves recognition, and our director tonight has taken this cherished character and brought him to the screen. So I would like to introduce to you the director. I mean, this is the world premiere. You guys are the first audience ever. The director of Solomon Kane, Bassett. Why? Now, who did you cast for Solomon Kane?
Mark Anthony.
Well, they say that directors generally cast guys who look like themselves, of course. Yeah. Oh! They said that you guys are a good crowd. They didn't say ferocious and mean at the same time, though. The guy who I found to play Solomon Kane is an extraordinary actor, handsome as hell, physically capable, and delivers Kane in exactly the way that I always hope. So let me introduce you to Mr. James Purefoy.
Thank you so much. Midnight, what the fuck are you all doing here? It's no time for my bed, you know?
Well, if you're seeing a film at midnight, you know you're doing something bad. You're doing something wrong. You're breaking the law.
You just know you're committed. Committed to an assignment, obviously.
But this is the world premiere. You guys are the first people to get to see this movie, so it's been, yes, absolutely. So I applaud you for making the effort to come out. I know some of you are hardcore Solomon Kane fans. I hope there are a few in the audience tonight who are going to see this movie. And some people who maybe don't know the character so well who are going to be introduced to him for the first time. And as Colin said, you've got to read the books because they're extraordinary bits of work as well. James and I will be hanging around later on to answer some questions after the movie's finished, but I don't want to talk too long. But I do want to take the opportunity to thank some of the people who've got us here today. So I want to say thank you to Hadida and Paul Berrow. Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to make this movie. It's a big step up from my previous films. And I love fantasy, and none of fantasy movies are made, so they're rare beasts, and hopefully this will help introduce a few more to us as well in the future. That's all I'm going to say, guys. Let's see the movie. We'll talk later. Thanks a lot.